Alright guys, I'm bringing you in here in the middle of an operation. I have my big old 1/2 inch tool right there, one of my favorite tools, big bulky tool. And then I have my new probe right here. And then I'm going to explain what I did because I didn't film it, so I'll just tell you real quick. Essentially what I did is I put a 1, 2, 3 block in my old probe on top of this, measured the difference between here and there, and then zeroed it to where it was coming at the top of this, and then did a cutting pass on top of all these guys. And then what happened is I didn't hit this one, this one, this one, or this one, but I did hit this one and this one. And if you can tell, if we look here, you can tell that the lines here are not completely perpendicular. That's because this was machined already before. Maybe you can see, it's not, there we go. Angled that way. And then this one, you can tell are going straight backwards. Or maybe you can't tell, but you can take my word for it. So anyway, we hit 2, and then, so all I've done is decrease the distance because it brings the probe, these bodies right here, these offsets are slightly lower than the probe. So now I just, I need to increase the distance. I decreased the distance, so I need to redo it. But I'm gonna increase the distance so that it goes just a little bit lower. And then we're gonna just run another pass. I decreased it by, what, a micron or whatever? I think that's what it is in there. And then we're just gonna keep lowering it until we get them all flat. And then okay, the machining was a bit monotonous because I had to run it like 5 times, more than that, 10 times to get the depth right. This one was shorter than the rest of them. And then what I did after I got the depth right is I went in there and I inscribed letters onto them. And so this one says FL, FM, FR, which is front left, front middle, front right. Then we have BR, back right, back middle, back left. And then what happens is there's a bird that gets raised with that tool, like a bad bird. It's really bad. And then, so I did another pass over the top of it, and then I actually did a second pass because when I put the screw in, that raised a little bit of foil out of this. But this is just so nice and smooth. It's really, really lovely. I like the way it feels. You can see here on this part where I engraved to build the Mark I, which is what this plate is for, I had to really sand this down with sandpaper in order to get it to work. I did not have to do that here at all, and this is just nice. So, just out of curiosity, we're going to set this here and see how flat she feels. We got a little bit of play right there. This one is a little weird for whatever reason, but it seems to be going. Seems like this is working pretty good. Nice and flat. Alrighty guys, so that, as you can see, is one of the last things, well, there's 2 things left I have to do now after getting this done to start machining on the suit. Those are drilling holes for all the plates that you saw. They don't actually have holes to mount these guys yet. These standoffs go on with these bolts right here, and then these just bolt in, and they stand off the thing, which allows me to machine through the component, which is awesome. It's a fantastic work holding solution for what I am doing. It's going to work really well. And then I have to essentially run a cam template for the entire suit, and then do the cam for the first parts of the suit. I also need to flatten everything out, make sure 100% everything's going to fit in the 24 plates that I have bought. I kind of tie that in with the cam though. And then I also tie in with the cam is like looking over the suit just a couple more times and making sure everything is 100% good to go, because it's essentially locked in at that point once I start building it. And then I start machining this. And then I will, hopefully By my calculations, it'll take me about 24 days to machine the suit. About. I mean, it could be more, it could be less, and I could be off by plus or minus 10 days. I mean, probably not minus, maybe plus. But that's if I can machine 10 hours a day, which is a long time. That's a lot of work. So realistically, let's say probably 30. I have 33 days left to build the suit before the 25th, which is when I'm trying to have this done by, September 25th. It's my sister's birthday, and it's when I have a big credit card payment due. So I really got to figure my shit out by then. I will also probably be running this machine, making some parts on the lathe, some of the round parts, while that's working. And then I'll be taking parts off the machine, cleaning them up, and then a lot of cleanup, a lot of filing and cutting the parts out and doing all that jazz. And then this welder comes into play, and I'll actually start welding the suit, hopefully while I'm machining. Hopefully, that's gonna be a lot to juggle, but hopefully I'll get into a rhythm after like a few days, assuming I don't get so fucking exhausted that all I can barely do is sit there. And hopefully though, by having this thing running, I'll actually keep because this is very monotonous to run. It's kind of awful to run for that long. So hopefully by doing other things like finishing parts up and welding parts, I'll actually stay in higher spirits while doing this and not go into a rut of like, this is so long and hard. So hopefully that doesn't happen. We'll see what happens. I'm trying to have it done by September 25th. Yeah. All right, guys. Love you. Bye. One last thing I wanted to show you guys is that I have finished the support for the ankle. So the last thing I really have to do on the design. This sharp-eyed person may have noticed that was also off my checklist. But in here, this part is going to be 3D printed out of rubber, and this part that goes all the way around is going to be 3D printed out of plastic, hard plastic. And then it like comes around in cups here, and there's a bolt that goes through there. So if I turn this off, you can see the bolt hole goes through right there, and then there's also going to be in that hole right there some alignment pins. So it'll slide into the alignment pins, and then 2 bolts from each side will put it in there. So after I get my foot in, it'll slide in, align with those pins in the front, and then 2 bolts come through and I'm in it. It's a good design. I like it.